Hi everyone, welcome back. Today is just going to be a quick will I buy it. I'm going to be scrolling through Instagram, looking at some new makeup releases, and letting you know my thoughts on them. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Okay, so as always with the Will I Buy It videos, I want to give quick credit to Samantha March, who started this series on her own channel years ago. So I will link her Will I Buy It playlist down below. And then I will also list down below the different Instagram accounts that I typically look at when I'm kind of looking at things to comment on. So today is going to be like a true first impressions sort of will I buy it. I usually, when I film these, I typically like to kind of look ahead of time and at least kind of pick out a handful of things I want to talk about. But this time I'm going in completely blind. I haven't really been looking at social media very much the last few days. And so this is going to be basically just winging it, and I'm actually really excited about that. Oh, okay, before I go in blind to kind of just random scrolling, there's one thing that I know I want to touch on because I just saw a review of this palette from Mel Thompson and I want to touch on it. So this is the new Wayne Goss Pearl palette. This looks absolutely gorgeous. I love these tones. If you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you probably know that kind of these mauvey and taupey gray sorts of tones are like right up my alley. So I really love this. I just know that one of kind of the primary complaints, or I shouldn't say complaints, it's not a complaint, but one thing that people tend to say about his palettes are that they come with so much product that you would like never even make a dent. And so for someone like me who has a decent amount of makeup already, it doesn't always make the most sense to buy products that are clearly intended to give you like a lot of product of just these few selected shades. Still though, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted. I mean, look at those swatches. It looks so beautiful. I don't see any information about when it's actually coming out, but it looks like Wayne Goss has a video on his channel as well, in addition to that one I saw on Mel Thompson's channel. Okay, now we are actually on to random scrolling. And the first thing that caught my eye here is that BH Cosmetics just released a new one of their travel series palettes. So this is the Amalfi eyeshadow palette. And then it looks like there's also a set of brushes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 brushes maybe in a little set. So again, if you've been watching my channel, you know that BH Cosmetics is one of the brands I really want to try in 2021, but so far their launches haven't quite aligned with either my no buy low buy schedule, or they haven't aligned with kind of like what I'm looking for in eyeshadows. And I have to say, I really like this eyeshadow palette, but I think I need to hold myself back and be realistic about the fact that it's just a bunch of neutrals. So I think I'm gonna pass on this, but I have to say, oh man, I really like it. I really do. So let me know in the comments, would you like to see a review of this? If you would, maybe I'll consider picking it up. It's only $17 and it's out already. It's already released. So I do think if you were interested, I could review this. So the next thing here that really caught my eye is another eyeshadow palette. So we're on a little bit of a palette kick here at the beginning of this video. This is the Victory palette from Game Beauty. So I heard about Game Beauty kind of like earlier this year or maybe late last year from Amy Loves Makeup and Angelica Nyquist. And they both have given them kind of like middle of the road reviews. I wouldn't say they had like outstanding reviews, but this color story looks really interesting to me. I am excited about it. I will not be picking this up, but I'm curious to see where this brand goes in the future. I think they're merging two concepts that are actually really interesting and popular. So kind of like gaming and makeup. So I think a lot of people are into both of those things. So I think they're probably going to build a pretty good customer base. And just to give you quick details, there's no price on here, but it says it launches on Monday, August 2nd. Ooh, okay, here's a non-palette launch that I'm really interested in. This is from M Cosmetics. It's their So Soft line. So it looks like there's blushes and then it looks like bronzers, but they're not called bronzers. Let me see, what are these called? They're called the So Soft Multi-Face Play. I don't like that name. Just call them bronzers, you know, but whatever. So it looks like there are 4 shades of the bronzers, and I guess maybe they called it not a bronzer because some of them are more so contour shades. They're cool tone shades. And then there are 6 blushes. These are $30 each and they're already released, so they're available now if you're interested. I am really curious about some of these blush shades in particular. I think that very like tan colored one, it looks like it's called Pearl Tea. They call it a brownish nude, and that looks really, really pretty. I love brown toned blushes like that. I think that's gorgeous. And then also I've been on this like weird kick where I'm kind of getting into like berry plum toned blushes. So that one called Bitten also looks kind of interesting to me. However, I do have a lipstick that's like that exact shade, so I've been kind of using my lipstick instead, and it's working just fine, so I don't think I'm gonna drop $30 on this product from Cosmetics when I already have something that kind of does the trick. But that Pearl Tea shade is really, really unique. I do think that that one looks absolutely beautiful. I'm not gonna pick any of these up right now. I'm kind of trying to wait for Cosmetics to release something that I feel like is like right up my alley. And these are beautiful, but I'm just not always the biggest fan of like stick type of cream products. And so I'm gonna hold off on these, but they look stunning. Okay, this one kind of makes me laugh. Hip Dot and My Chemical Romance are releasing like a round 2 of their collaboration. So they collaborated like back in the winter time, and I guess it was successful. I guess they did well with that because now here's round 2. So it looks like there are some liquid shadows and some white liners, and then a palette. It says the pre-order ends July 29th, so you'll pre-order it, and then it ships out October 31st to December 31st. Man, that feels like a really early pre-order, doesn't it? Like July, end of July to end of October is the time you wait. But if you want it, it's there. As always, in these Will I Buy It videos, we have a release from Colourpop to talk about. Surprise, surprise. So this one is a set of 6 different little quads, and they're like ice cream themed. Oh yeah, they're called the Ice Cream Bites collection. These are actually really cute. I actually really, really like these. I'm a sucker for a good quad. Like a well formulated and like well thought out quad is more impactful to me than like a huge palette with 30 shades and tons of options. So like in theory, I'm really into this, but I don't think any of these color stories are really for me personally. So I'm not gonna pick one up. Oh, and it says that this is a limited edition collection. So if you do want these from Colourpop, I would say like purchase them. Go get them now because Colourpop sells out pretty quick, and I don't know if they're limited edition. I don't know how often they'll restock them, or like how many times they'll restock before they just say, okay, that's it. Those were limited edition. So just a heads up. Okay, you guys, here's a release from Beauty Blender, and essentially they're just lavender colored beauty blenders. It doesn't say anything special about them. It doesn't say like they're made of something special or anything. They're just called Lilac. They're just called the Beauty Blender Lilac. And man, I don't know. Beauty Blender needs to like figure something out because I don't know. Are there people who are like just waiting on the edge of their seat for Beauty Blender to make more colors? Or like, what are they doing? Why is this what they're putting their money into? If it's just the same product over and over in different colors, I just don't understand what the market is for that, I guess. However, I will say this marketing campaign, 10 out of 10. I think this is so cute with them in the little baskets. I wish it would have come out like around Easter time or something, springtime. I think that would have been really, really cute, but maybe things just got delayed with COVID. So A+ on the marketing. I think like a solid like C- on the concept. Okay, I think this is a really interesting launch that I'm like actually moderately curious about. So e.l.f. Cosmetics is releasing a couple more things in their bite-size line. So they have those little eyeshadow palettes, they have the face palettes, and now they are doing a bite-size brow palette and bite-size balms. So the brow palette is interesting. It comes with 2 waxes kind of on that left-hand side and then 2 powders. So I think it looks like actually a really robust, like well thought out little quad, and it comes in a lot of shades. It comes in a lot of options. I think they did a pretty good job with this release. It's available now, and it looks like it's $4. And then the bite-sized balms come in 4 different shades. Of course, they're very sheer, but I still think they did a really good job picking shades. They have like you know, a nude shade, like a warm nude. Then they have like a peachy pink, and then they have like a cool toned pink. I think this is a really good range. Oh, and a clear one. I think those are cute. I really like that cool toned one down at the bottom. I think that one's actually really nice looking, and I would totally wear that like on a daily basis with like just mascara. I actually really like this release. I think it's a good move for e.l.f. I don't know that I'll pick up either of them necessarily, but I'm kind of curious to see other people's reviews, especially on that brow product. I think that's interesting for travel. Okay, and then I think this is going to be the last thing. It's kind of like the oldest thing on here that I see that I'm interested in commenting on. So this is the Solar Paint from Glossier. I am intrigued by this. They're calling it basically a bronzer cream. That's what it says. And more or less it looks like it's warm shades. All of them are very warm toned, and that's the intention, right? They're supposed to, it says it's designed to capture that warm glow you get from spending a day in the sunshine. So I am interested in these actually. It's not often that something from Glossier actually draws me in once I look at the product really thoroughly. Their marketing always gets me. Every single time I look at Glossier's marketing and I want that item immediately. So they're doing something right over there in terms of like product photography and model photography and kind of how they just present themselves. I really like what they do with that. But oftentimes once I actually read the description of a product and I see the price point, I just like can't compute where that price is coming from in terms of the formula. So it's not very often that I actually think something is like intriguing enough that I might purchase it. This Glossier release really has me thinking. I am very intrigued. You should go to their website and click through their like before and after model photos. These shades were so well thought out. They are so unique. I haven't seen other shades like this on the market in a product like this like glowy bronzer type of product. But honestly, like this shade Volt, which is intended for very like deep dark skin tones, it actually looks like it would be an outstanding blush on someone with my skin tone. I think these could work as like blush, bronzer, and highlighters for different skin tones at different like phases, right? Like someone in that deep dark category could also use the lightest shade, the one kind of meant for me and my skin tone, probably as a highlighter. So I'm just curious about these. I am really, really intrigued. If I did buy it, I would buy the lightest shade Flare, just based on the photos on their website. That's probably like the most I've ever said about a Glossier product. I'm very intrigued by these. I don't know, guys. I think I'm gonna order this right now. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and order it. I wanted to wait for reviews, but I don't know. I have kind of talked myself into it, I think. So yeah, let's end on that note. I think that's a positive note to end on. There are actually so many releases right now that I'm really interested in, just none of them that are quite like hitting the mark in a unique enough way for me to want to pick them up. But again, please let me know on kind of the things I'm on the fence about. The BH palette, I'm really curious about. The e.l.f. Bite Size brow and lip things, and then also maybe the Glossier Solar Paint. Let me know in the comments below. Those are kind of the 3 things on my maybe list. So let me know if you would want to see those. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here today, and I will see you next time.